Hey writers, sorry for the technical delay. I am here and I am going to decide what novel I'm going to write next week when I go on my writing retreat. So I'm off to Varuna, which is a national writing house here in Australia. And I was going to write the novel that I submitted to the Banjo Prize back in June, but say hi in the chat. But the problem is that I was gonna do that, and then my dates got moved, and the deadline was the beginning of June, and now I am out of luck because I've already finished that book and it's gone. So I need to write a new one. so you might recall if you hung out with me during the AuthorTube writing conference that I did choose a novel to not edit, but get kind of a draft going at the beginning of or during Camp Nano, and the plan was to get a really good start on that and then finish it this coming week. Unfortunately, I hit a bit of a roadblock on that novel because it felt a bit derivative, and I got sort of worried that that wasn't particularly new and fresh, and so I kind of stopped working on it. I still love the novel, and I've come up with ways to fix the problems that I was discovering. However, the the in the meantime, I've come up with another novel idea. So I have two novel ideas, and I can only write one. My goal is to write a novel in a week, and I'm going to let you know how that goes. So like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on finding out if I can actually write a novel in a week. Now, it'll be not a normal week, it'll be a week completely devoted to writing, but I still think it's a big thing. So here are the two novel ideas. I'd love to know what you think in the comments, so let me know. So the number one is the original novel idea, which is three friends they're on their way to a day off together, and they see a social media post where their frenemy, hi, welcome, say hi in the chat. Hey, cool gamer. Hey, welcome. Their frenemy posts this video saying, I've run off with one of your husbands. And then they head into a dark zone in the Blue Mountains. So they can't actually like do anything. They can't check. So they're pretty like nervous about that. And then like the whole and then I'll be told in flashbacks about which of these husbands has gone off. So that's idea number one. Idea number two is a body is discovered in a small town. It's been burnt beyond quick recognition. I mean, they're going to do tests and stuff, but it's going to, again, happen over a short period of time. They don't know who the body is. And then the novel will be kind of retracing the steps of the last couple of days. I'll have a huge cast of characters kind of trying to figure out who the body is and who killed them. And also more of a whodunit. There will be a little bit of romance in that, but it'll be mostly a whodunit or who is it. So both of them have the same kind of who is it premise, but one is more romantic comedy and the other one is more crime comedy, if you will. Sort of think of like Knives Out kind of situation. So those are the two ideas. I like both, but I can only write one right now. The other one I'll probably do Camp Nano. So I've got this whole list of characters. Oh, hey Gussie, how you going? Good to see you. So I've got to figure out which novel to write. And so I've been kind of thinking about how I'm going to do this. And so there's different ways. One of them is I kind of feel like, kind of looking into the industry. So if you'll permit me, I did a little bit of research yesterday and I can share that video with you and you can see what's going on right now with the videos. And we will write what's going on. I talked in that video I did for the AuthorTube writing conference. Which is greater, total printed number of romance novels or the population of Ecuador? Well, it's romance novels, 19 million printed. They have increased by 36% between 2021 and 2022. $1.44 billion in revenue are out there on the table for romance novels. According to Goodreads, the most popular books in 2023, Spare by Prince Harry is the #1 book. Never fear, romance writers, because Emily Henry's on there currently with Happy Place. If you were wondering, the population of Ecuador is under 18 million. Just saying. What I'm saying is that if you don't know what's selling, then you can make a great book. So I recently spoke to Danuka Mackenzie, another Australian author who will be appearing on my podcast, and she said that there are trends that ebb and flow. She's in the crime fiction space, and she says in that space you go from the dark, gritty, violent thrillers to the cozy ones, and it just, if you write a cozy crime novel and the publishers are looking for a gritty one, and even worse, the readers are looking for a gritty one, then you're just not going to sell. You're not going to get an agent. You're not going to get a publisher. You're not going to get readers. So, and that's not because your book is bad. It's because it's not what's selling right now. So these things change. We saw it with the vampire novels. There was an influx of vampire novels after the Twilight boom. And that is just, as somebody who owns a bookstore, we get Twilight books all the time. We can't sell them. They go out for $1. We can't sell them. Nobody wants them. But it was a time where people were looking for them like crazy. Doesn't mean their books are good or bad. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's not what's selling right now. So we love to say that romance is best. Romance is the top. But it might not be that clear cut. So I got some good news for you fantasy writers. Apparently, according to one poll by Thrift Books, now I'm not sure how large a segment they polled, but they got a anecdotal response instead of sales, what readers are actually reading. And so fantasy was at 49%, romance at 42%, history at 39%, sci-fi at 36%, comedy at 33%, mystery was at 17%, and action adventure was 2%. I will concur that is how my sales go in my bookshop for the most part. Crime is on there, maybe a little bit higher, but crime wasn't even asked here. And I feel like my customers in the bookshop would not call their mysteries. They would call them crime novels. And but at the same time, we have seen a shift away from certain kinds of crime novels. So not all crime novels are created equal. There are American crime novels, British crime novels, and Scandinavian crime novels. We saw a huge influx after The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for Scandinavian crime. However, that seems to be on the decline, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to be the next one yet. Stay tuned. All right. So if you want to know more about that data-driven, how to decide what book to write next, check out this video here, and I'll see you there.
There we go. Some big clouds. I'm finished. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, go down.
Yeah.
Hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell.
Good job. So those are clips from my video that's going to come up this weekend, where I go into the statistics and which books are which books are being published and stuff. So check out that video this weekend for more kind of stats and data if that's your jam. And it's all very interesting. I love knowing the numbers because numbers don't lie. However, that, it tells me that, the crime-esque novel may not sell as well. But I was speaking to an agent and former publisher with like 30 years in the industry, and she she said, this is, I was recording for my upcoming podcast last night with her. Her name is Lou Johnson. And she said that while it's good to know all that stuff, you do want to be careful about writing trends, because by the time you've identified the trend, written the book, gotten a publisher, gotten an agent, it is unlikely that you will be in time for the trend. You'll probably be on the back end of it, which is the worst place to be. So while that said, she said that kind of the best thing to do is, oh, thank you. I'll tell Vian she's cute. She's at school right now. Guess he says Vian's cute. And she knows it too. Lou said that the thing that she tells all writers is not to write unless you have to. So write what you have to. So that has led me to the third thing I'm going to do, unless somebody wants to tell me which book to write, because that would be a lot easier than actually doing the work. But basically what I'm going to suggest is that we go into a sprint, and I'm going to just start writing. I'm going to just write. I'm not going to get out. I'm going to write my book. I'm not gonna open any documents or anything. I'm just start writing and see what I write, and that might give us the answer. So I might come back at the end of, oh, what does Gussie say? I've been acquiring a lot of fantasy books at the library. I think fantasy is on the upswing. I agree, and I also think that it is important to think about what sells. But it's also important to think about what people read, because as Lou was saying last night, that we're in an age now with social media and everything that readers want to connect with authors. So there are a lot of books that are sold that don't get read. We all have that to be read pile. A lot of the, we all get books as gifts. And if the person doesn't know us quite right, we may not connect with that book. So book sales are great because publisher look at book sales. But as an author, I'm interested in books. I'm interested in readers. I'm interested in what my readers will read. I want them to love my book. My goal is to have people come up and write like fan fiction and just like totally like geek out on my writing. And nothing does that better than fantasy. There is not a community of readers that does that better. Is it possible to combine both ideas? Could the women discover the shard body? Both books are incredibly complicated in their method of storytelling. So the more crimey one with the body, I've in my notes I had upwards of, I'll show you so this is my outline for that book. Confused yet? So that is all my characters and how they connect. And then the circled ones were the ones I thought I would tell the story from. And I've narrowed it down. So at this point, when I did this, I cut off, so I scribbled out that one and that one. And I kept 4, but I've just lost something at the bottom. But I went, you know what? That's still too many characters. I generally only have one narrator when I write. So the idea of having 4 was daunting. I know a lot of people do that multiple narrative thing, but it's kind of a big leap to tell this complicated a story plus have multiple narrators. Like I don't think that is a good strategy for me. I think I'm going to set myself up for failure. I may do something like that later, but I'm stepping into a very complicated space. I want to be. So I've actually narrowed it down to one narrator. It took me a really long time, but I had an aha moment in the car. A lot of people get aha moments in the shower. I get aha moments in the car, and that could be because I have to drive half an hour to get into town. So yeah. So I've narrowed it down to one narrator, and but yeah, that I can't combine with the 3 I love that you say 3 women. It's actually not 3 women. There are 3 husbands, but there's not 3 women. One of them's a man. But yeah, the three friends, they tell a lot of backstory, so it's actually told by a third person narrator. It's actually told from the narrator of the woman who stole the husband. So, thank you. I love it. So yeah, so that's the kind of thing, and yeah, just um I think I think I just need to sit down and see what comes off my pen. And maybe after doing that for a 20-minute sprint, if you'll stick with me and do some writing, maybe I'll have a clearer idea of which one I have to write. I think that was a great bit of advice from Lou. I mean, it seems really simple, but um she's a writer herself, but she's only just discovered that writing aspect of her. Like when she was young, she said, this is all in the podcast. You should just watch the podcast, which will be coming out September, October is launch date for the podcast. And it's gonna be fantastic because it's not just me talking, it's like industry experts, published authors. I'm really excited about it, but I'm learning so much and I just want to share it all with you now. Because I'm learning so much, but about the industry that I didn't know. Um, but she said that in the industry, like I had this idea that in the publishing world, it was everybody like was like me. Everybody wanted to get published, and they were just that was their journey. They were like, I'll get a job at like Random House, and then I'll just like make friends with the editor, and then I'll give my manuscript to the editor. And this is like totally what I would do. I'm like making fun of it, but I'm just totally what I would do. I'd be like, this is what I thought I would do when I was a kid. I was like, I'll get a job and I'll be friends with the editor and I'll give them my book and then they'll think it's fantastic and then I'll be a published author and it'll be awesome. That was totally my plan when I was 14 years old. And that's probably how I would have said it. And but apparently there is that guy. Like those people do exist, she said. And then there's people that are there because it's a job and they like numbers and finance and whatever, and it just happens to be a publishing house. And then there's the people that are there who were that guy, who were the guy who wants to give their book, but went, you know what? This is really hard. And I don't think I want to do it. I don't want to do the hard thing. So I'm totally not in touch with that emotion. I always want to do the hard thing. But I think if I'm going to write a book in a week, it needs to be easy. I think it can't be hard. And I need to change that mindset because I think that might be the key. Like, sorry, I had some time my streaming. Um, I have a feeling if I play a sprint that my internet's gonna die. So what I might do is I might not play a timer today. Would that be okay with you if I don't play a timer and we can just I'm talking for 20 minutes. You're probably bored of listening to me. We can do some writing. Hopefully, at the end of that, I will have an answer for you because I'm going to decide today. I'm not getting off this stream until I decide. So, guess you still you working on editing or are you working on writing your book? Gussie says, you're right. It will need to be easy. Could you write a prequel to one of the books? Maybe a novella in the VP. I'm not sure what you mean by viewpoint of one of the people in the cabin. You've just given me a third book idea. I'm working on editing, but I need to insert a new scene. Oh, okay. Cool. Fantastic. So, I'm going to turn to a blank page. I'm going to start writing and see what happens. And I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to listen to the scratchy of my pen, which hopefully won't run out of ink. We might have to change the ink live today. Yes, viewpoint. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, just took me a second. Okay, cool. So cool. Let's do some writing. Sorry, I'm not gonna just put on your own music or whatever. I'm pretty scared that if I'm going to play one of my timers, that I'm just gonna crash my internet this time. I go live. Hopefully, I have this cord because yeah. So I was doing it all. I'm all doing it all virtually, and I had one particularly bad one where it kept cutting out, and I was talking to somebody in Adelaide. So I think it was also the time of day. I feel like when I use the internet in the daytime, I have harder time because other people in the area are using it because I'm in the country and we have limited access. So yeah. So let's just set the timer and have a go. What do you reckon? That should say sprint, not spring. Hey, so my pen ran out of ink and my refill is out of ink. So what I should do is clean my pen and I should then change the color. But what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to do that, is I'm going to choose a color that's close. And I'm going to mix them. Yeah, so this is kind of a green color, so maybe I'll mix it with the gray. Might make the gray a little more interesting. I shouldn't do that. That is very bad. This is bad pen etiquette. But I don't want to clean the whole thing. Well, I guess I could clean the whole thing. That would probably be the right thing to do, wouldn't it? I'll get some water. Keep writing. All right. So how did everybody go? I wrote in the crime novel, which surprised me because I thought coming into this live today that I definitely would be doing the other one. And apparently not. All right. I don't know how well this cleans it. I actually don't know how to clean a pen. I'll Google that after, so I know for next time, but I'm going to rinse it out anyway. Yeah, so how did everybody go? Let me know. Yeah, so I wrote to there, and that's when my pen ran out. You dictated this. Oh, that's fantastic. It does. Yes, I do that from time to time as well, actually. You've inspired me quite a bit. So I do a lot of dictate. I do. Yeah, I said to do. A lot of dictating now. So forget how to, I got it in here, this thing. Ah, there it goes. All right. I'm going to be covered in green ink, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Can Joe talk and figure out how to clean an ink pen at the same time? Apparently I can. All right, cool. It's not perfect. Still a little bit green, but it's better. What I probably need to do is stick to one color. But anyway. No, I didn't get any ink on my sweater. It's fine. I'm not actually too worried. This is an old. I know that, most people kind of dress up nice for videos and stuff, but I'm so like, I'm me. I am how I am. What you see is what you get. Sorry. I'm not dressy. I'm not anything. I'm just me. All right. Well, it's definitely cleaner. All right. I should tilt this so you can see what I'm doing. In case you're interested in ink pen or fountain pen, I love my fountain pen. I didn't think I would. I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. It's stupid, but oh golly, I love it. I don't really understand why you would have more than one, except maybe it would make this whole bit easier. So I wouldn't have to stop writing to fill my pen. There we go. Oops. And okay, so that's why it didn't work. That wasn't in properly. Ah. There we go. It's a little bit better. Might do it one more time. So this is a Lammy. I no longer have affiliate links for Amazon, so there might be one still in the show notes, but Amazon booted me out, unfortunately. That's okay. Yeah, so I surprised myself by doing the writing the crimey novel rather than the other one. I really surprised myself because I thought that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the three friends. But I wrote this. And I want to continue writing it. I thought, oh, next sprint I'll try and write the other because I still think I should write the other one. I think it's going to be an easier narrative because I understand it quite well. Do I still have the glitter pens? I still have the glitter pens. I write with them from time to time, but the fountain pen is definitely my favorite at the minute. I love it, and I love my clear one. I bought one for my husband, and I don't think he uses it, so I might co-opt it so that I always have a spare, which would be a good idea. Do I know who committed the murder? Yes, I know who committed the murder. I know who the body is. I don't want to give it all away because spoilers, just in case one day it actually gets published and you read it, which would be great. Yeah. And I know in the other one, I know who the husband is, and it's all just sort of a comedy sort of thing. It's just sort of silly. I worry that the crime novel is not going to have an audience because it's probably not even really a crime. It's just a comedy. It's just a comedy of errors. Basically it's like Much Ado About Nothing, or something funny happened on the way to the forum. It's that kind of a story. But somebody is dead. So I think it's funny. But I have kind of a dark, twisted sense of humor, maybe, and I'm not sure. I feel like people that want the like dark, gritty, murdery, dark and twisted stuff aren't gonna like it because it's silly and funny, and the people that like silly and funny aren't gonna like because somebody's dead, and that's not funny. So I'm not sure exactly. But I guess like Lou said, don't worry about the audience at the beginning. If you think about that too much, then it stifles your growth or stifles your writing. I don't know. Oh, thank you. Write what you want to read. Yeah. That's what I usually do. I usually write what I want to read. I can't write unless I'm write what I want to read. Right, we look forward to writing every day. Yeah. Right, we got to write. Yeah, I think that's the best advice. I want to write with both books, and I think I will before the end of the year. One will be Nano, one will be this week. But I think I'll have an easier time doing Nano because the other one will already be written. Does that make sense? But right now I've got 2 to write, and I want to write both, which is interesting because at the beginning of July I had 2 novels, but they weren't the same 2. I had a different novel idea, and that isn't in the equation right now. That's not something I want to write right at this minute. But if I want to write in a week, I need to focus on one book. I'm not going to write 2 books in a week. I don't think that is productive. I've never heard of anybody doing that, and I really don't think you can. Like I don't think I can't write 2 books at the same time, really. I can read 2 books at the same time, but I can't write 2 books at the same time. Maybe some people can, but I can't do that. I need to be focused all in. I'm all in on a project, which is part of the reason why I didn't get the other book written in July, because I was all in on YouTube, trying to get ahead, which I've done, and starting this podcast, which is going. So I can't be all in. I can't be all in 2 things. I can only be all in one thing. Otherwise, I'm not all in. That makes sense. Cool. Anyway, I'm gonna clean up my mess, and then I'm gonna come back and write. You go ahead and start writing, and I'll put another 20 minutes on the clock, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna experiment a little. I'm gonna try to write the other book, and see if I have to write this one, and that'll give me my clear answer. If I try and write the other one, and I can, then I will be in trouble. But if I try and write the other book and I can't, I have to write this one, then that will give me my answer. Does that make sense? I think that would. It would be your what are you saying? Can you write a 10K day? Well, I wrote a novel in a weekend once. And that novel was a long time ago. It was a novella, really. It was a novella. It was about 50,000 words. Just shy, I think, of 50,000 words. And it didn't end well because it was coming up to the deadline, because I had a deadline. I had to have it done by midnight. And I was like, it's a challenge. And I just kind of went, and everything happened. Because I had to finish the book. But that was yeah, no, this is this is a draft. I'm not going to edit. There'll be no editing. It's going to be a draft. I have a pretty detailed outline, especially since I'm writing the book about the 3 partners who are worried that their husbands have left is a romance novel. It's actually 3 kind of short romance stories. Will they stay together? For these 3 couples that are tied together with silver arcing puck. There's a chance they won't. There's a chance one of them won't stay together. Because one of them has run off with this other woman. And so that one's got to clear. Like I've got to have the kiss. I've got to have the intimate moment. I've got to have the breakup. I've got to have, which is really useful because that'll be at the end of every flashback, will be the breakup, so that the comeback together, if there is one, will happen in like real time. So, so that's that plan. So that's really clear outline. Even if I don't know what each thing is going to look like, I know the scenes I got to have, and they're very, very clear. And for the crime one, it's just a straightforward crime. So, I've got to start with the body, which I do. And I've got to have the detective, and I've got to have there are things, and I've got to have the detective as the last victim. all those things that happen in a book, um, that in like when you write genre fiction that just have to happen. And that makes outlining extremely easy when you understand those tropes and those things that the audience is going to expect. When you understand those, I feel, for me anyway, the outline is done for you. It's like it's done. So my characters for the romance have names. My characters for the other one don't have names. They both have the same setting because I set all my books in my hometown. Um, that's strategic, because I love the town I live in, here in Australia, and um, there's a sort of national, at least statewide, negative viewpoint of the town, and so I set them all here as a because I love this town and I want it to grow. I'm sort of my dream is to be sort of what Stephen King did for, um, whatever that area of the United States where all his books take place. Can't remember what it what it is right now. Um, my books will do for the Central West. Hopefully, that's my goal. So all my books are set, and so they're all set in the same place, and also that tells a story. The one Lou said last night, which I was very I loved, was that um, the author needs to be a story. So in this world of social media and everything, um, we were talking a lot about Margaret Atwood, and Margaret Atwood, she has written everything from speculative fiction to historical fiction, contemporary romance, all of it. She's like family dramas, but her books have the same style. We have two um, two narratives. One is what happened in the past, and one is what's happening in the present. Or we have different viewpoints of the same scene, like in Year in the Flood. There, it's it's not the past. It's she's got and also the new Handmaid's Tale one. What's it called? Testaments. Testaments also is viewpoints from the same timeline, but different viewpoints. So she switches up the narrative that way all the time, and that is a very distinctive style. So even if she's writing a very different genre, the style stays the same. So I guess I imagine that my style hopefully will stay the same, and the fact that I always write in the same area will stay the same, because I do like playing in different genres, obviously, because I'm looking at writing. I also I've never written a crime before, so this is one of the reasons why I want to write a crime, because I haven't done it before. And last year I wrote a romance for the first time. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. Let us all get back to writing. My goal is to try and write the romance and see if I can't. If I can't, it gives us our answer. Done. If I can, then I'm going to have to try something else to figure out which book to write, because then I'm in trouble. All right. I'm going to mute myself because the first thing I'm going to do is clean up all this dirty water. Setting a timer for 20 minutes. Well, so I've written 2 pages, and I went and heated up my coffee in the interim. I think that gives me my answer. I also realized that one of the reasons why I wasn't starting is because I'd actually already started this novel. If you recall, I said that I started it in January, not January, at the beginning of July, and I actually wrote most of the opening, and then um, I felt like it was derivative, and I got stuck. I'm like, okay, this I've seen this before, and Shonda Rhimes says when you've seen something before, that makes it a cliche. So I wanted something I hadn't seen before, and I feel like I have successfully done that. I kind of while I was getting my coffee, I really like if any coffee people want to sponsor me, I'm like I drink so much coffee, and it would be so great. And I don't like my brand, so I'm willing to try anything. But anyway, yeah, so 2 pages, full pages. Well, not full, they're a little bit, yeah. But it just I went, "Oh, I know what my character of Delilah, she's one of the partners. Um she was the one that felt really derivative, her storyline. And I was like, it's actually not the story I wanted to tell either. So not only was it derivative of something else that I'd seen before, it was not the story I wanted to tell. I wanted to tell this story. Um and I couldn't figure out how to do it. Like show, not tell. I could tell you. I could tell you I want this to be a woman who really wants to have a baby, um, and can't. And she makes that unhappiness her husband doesn't really see, and it creates conflict. That's the story I wanted to tell, but I wasn't telling that. I was telling a story about a woman who cared what her friends thought, which is not the story I wanted to tell, and it felt derivative. And anyway, I think I have figured it out. So the theme of this novel, the romance, is I didn't share that with you. The themes of so each book has like what is the book about? So the truth, the theme, the premise of the romance is that every relationship is different, and there's no like right way to be. And the truth in the crime one is that no one is what they seem. And I feel like that's exciting. I really want to write that, but I feel like the book I'm going to write, I think I was right when I came in, is the romance. And I think it tells by the fact that in just 15 minutes I wrote more than I wrote 20 of the other, and the fact that I've cracked this nut that's been keeping me kind of in the writer's block for a while. And the fact that I realized that I didn't have to start at the beginning. So that was what was stopping me. I was like, oh, I don't want to write that again. I wrote that already. If you remember, Gussie, you were with me when I wrote that. I wrote that, it's back here. So that was in glitter pen. I wrote a heap. So that was back. Just went on forever, if you recall. And then I think there was another, that was the last time we wrote. And then the time before that, I wrote all that. So I actually have a lot on this book. So it might not be like a actual write the book in the week because I've got stuff written, but I'm pretty much starting from the beginning. So I've written in July, I wrote about 4,600 words in July, which is not a good month for me. But I'm going to have to backtrack, and I think I'm only going to keep maybe generous would be 1,000 words. I don't think I'm going to even keep that much. But that's the outline. It's much simpler. So I like that as well. I feel like I can do the complicated crime outline in a month and the simpler outline in a week. I feel like I've decided. So I decided I am going to do the romance. Happy dance, happy dance. How did everybody else's writing go? Let me know in the comments how your writing went. And if you want to do one more sprint, Or if you want to leave it there, let me know in the comments, if you will. I kind of don't want to stop, honestly. What I really kind of want to do now is I want to open my novel factory and look at all my outlines and stuff and see what changes I want to make. That's kind of what I want to do. So, Gussie, you said like a proper outline. So Novel Factory is great for that. And they are an affiliate link, not a proper sponsor, but she's given me an affiliate link, which is in the comment notes. And this is why I can outline so quickly. This is like I'm a yeah, I knew as soon as I opened something that would happen. I'm a pantser, but it gets me into trouble and I end up with a mess. It's all like a timey-wimey jumbled ball of yarn that I never edit because it's too much work to edit. So I've edited. We are just not going to load, are we? So, this will open. It may not because it's so yucky right now. I need to get wires that I can, so like the little wires you can plug it straight into your computer off the other side of the house. I have shown Novel Factory before, but so it's oh, your choice, thank you. That's what they didn't fly. Yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to. I have shown Novel Factory before, but I'm not gonna try now because it's crashing my computer. It's crashing my internet, and it's meaning that Gussie can't actually write comments, which is not cool. Nothing's working. So I wish I could show you. So I don't know if you can still hear me. My internet's going wonky, but it gives me templates um, for the plot, a dark everything. Really found love. Do you want a month? with me through those technical difficulties. I am not going to try and show you anything because every time I try to show you something, it goes completely flat. Novel Factory is this wonderful tool that gives me an outline for my genre or for a character driven story or even short stories or nonfiction or anything, and just like it just plops the outline for me right there. And then all I have to do is kind of personalize it a little, and then each scene it gives me the decision cycle, and I've done a video on that, I think. um if I haven't, I'm gonna do one for Preptober, because the decision cycle is just genius. It's so great. I love this thing. And there's so many tools. I mean, like, I will never ever fill out the character profiles that are in Novel Factory. It's just insane. So it's kind of like a Scrivener kind of thing, except it's so user friendly. It's plug and play, and it's web based, which means that I don't have to have my computer. I can use another computer and just log in, which is fantastic. Means you can travel a lot lighter if you go to library or whatever, and you can just like write at one of the computers. I love it. It's fantastic. And like I say, there's an affiliate link below. They are not a sponsor, but they have given me this affiliate link. And if you click that, you get a month free. You can try it out. Highly recommend. It's fantastic. It's so good. Anyway, that is how I can so quickly write my outline, and it has a pantser by nature. It means that I don't have to spend a lot of time creating templates and that sort of thing. It's all done for me. And I have spent a lot of time doing templates in the past, and it keeps me from writing, which isn't great. And this is just all in there. And every time I start a new novel, I recommend the second tier at least. So the first tier is one novel, and I don't know anybody who writes one novel, so it's like just second tier, which is the one that I use. And this, I think it's called the standard, and you can have multiple novels. So every time I have a novel idea, I now put it into Novel Factory. So it's sitting there when I want to write another novel. It's just sitting there, so I don't have to worry about like losing my novels ideas. It's just there. It's fantastic. I love it. So good. And the team is wonderful. They're it's created by Katja, who she is a writer herself, and so she actually created it for herself. But what I love about it is I've tried other programs. I've tried several other programs. I actually did it live here. And what I don't like about the other programs is that you have to spend a lot of time setting them up, and they're not really user friendly, and the interface isn't really like it's just there. It's already there. I love it. So you can write in it as well as prep in it, as well as edit in it. Whereas a lot of them are just for one thing, either editing or like they're good for one thing. Like they might do the other things, but they're not as good for it. But this is like from the idea to publishing, it actually gives you this roadmap. I'm just going to shut up. I just love this program so much. But that, Gussie, is how I can outline novels so quickly. I'm sorry. I'm just checking on. Okay, you go make supper. But I got other people here. And I hope that you'll stick with me, because I think I might do one more sprint at least before I go. And plop all this into my Novel Factory. But I'm not going to do it now because opening Novel Factory apparently crashes my internet currently, because I'm using StreamYard. So I'm using StreamYard. I'm using a free version of StreamYard to do this, and they recommend you don't have anything else running at the same time, and we have discovered why. So I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to get a cord to plug directly into my internet, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. So come back in 2 weeks, and hopefully my live streams will be more interesting, and I'll be able to screen share and do all sorts of fun stuff, and also tell you how my 1 week novel writing went. But for now, let's Shut up, Joe. And let's get back to a writing sprint. 20 minutes on the clock. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, so this is great. This is definitely the book I'm going to write. Pages and pages and pages of gray ink. Definitely the one I'm writing. I have decided. Yay! Wonderful. It is coming on to lunch here in Australia. Some of y'all should probably be thinking about dinner, as Gussie has, or heading to bed, depending what part of the United States you are, or the UK. It is quite late in the UK. You should have been in bed a long time ago. But you can always watch this in replay and keep it up. I will see you live again in 2 weeks. Video dropping on Saturday, podcast coming in September, October. So click the like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Keep writing.